The first thing we want to do is open our transfer. It has a little tape around the edge. I've already cut that. And you'll want to save this packaging in case you have any extra pieces left over. You can put them back in here. And these are just really great for storing things. They're awesome. But anyway, it comes with a stick to adhere your transfer. And then it also comes with this backing on it. And this backing it's removable very easily. It's not adhering to it, which is really good. It makes it easy to work with. So this is the transfer, and I am actually going to put a little piece of painter's tape at the top here because you'll see I want to keep this backing intact with the paper on the back because I'm going to hold it up to my piece, and it'll just make it easier for me to kind of hold it all together, because you do not want to get dust or debris or anything on the back of your transfer. This is the front and this is the sticky part on the back. That the sticky part faces the white backing. So you'll see I'm going to hold this up to my piece to kind of get an idea of layout and to figure out what I want to do. And I think I'm actually going to put a piece of tape down here as well, because I just want that backing to stay on while I figure out my placement and all of that. And this way I can just hold this piece all together easily. Okay, so now we'll go over to the washstand and figure out the placement of everything. Okay, onto the transfer. Okay, so the thing about this piece, and this is what I wanted to show you guys, this piece is a bit tricky for a transfer. Okay, there are several things going on. Like, we've got this little apron down here, and then there's some detail molding here, and then these doors open, and so there's a seam there, opening there, and then this part is inset, more trim, a flat door. Yay, that's going to be the easiest part, or drawer, I should say. And then we have a curved drawer. So there's a lot of little tricky bits about this piece as far as applying a transfer. Oh, and also it has these molding pieces here on either side. I'm not sure if you can see that. But anyway, so I thought, if I could take you guys through the process of applying it to this one, then anything that you apply it to will be pretty easy. Of course, you can have that a beginner way is to apply it to just like a flat chest of drawers, where the only thing you have to worry about are the seams, cutting it, in between the drawers. That's the easiest way that I would recommend starting, but I wanted to show people how to apply it to this type of situation so that you wouldn't be limited by what you want to do. So, okay, so here's your transfer, and the way I'm going to start is I'm going to just hold this in front of my piece. And of course you do kind of want to measure, and you want to find a transfer that's going to, in general, kind of, fit your piece and be the size that you want. It doesn't have to be exact, of course, but you want it to be similar. So I'm just laying it, and it's perfect width-wise. Like I think it's almost identical to the piece width-wise. The length is a little bit long, so I'm holding this in place, and then I'm feeling down here, and I'm seeing that it's a little longer than
than the piece is. But actually there is like a little room up here too. So that's no problem. I'm going to cut this piece up, this transfer, and I'm going to make it work for this project. So I wanted just to put it on here and kind of get an idea of like what we're working with. And so I am going to actually cut off this bottom piece right here. I'm going to cut this off and then I'm going to apply that down here. And that will make it easier for me to not have to worry about this and then this all at once. I can do this section and then worry about this section next. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to cut this part off and then we're going to go from there with the rest of the transfer. Okay, so I have the little section that I cut out and it is gonna hit these molding pieces on the side. So what I'm gonna do is just hold it up and I'm gonna trim on either side. So let's see if I trim here. Yeah, I'm gonna trim, let's see. So I'm gonna trim this line here real quick. Hold it all together and get the tape off. And you don't have to take it off the backing. Okay, so then you just place it down. Okay, so you just want to hold your, kind of hover your transfer over, and then you want to eyeball where you want it. Pressing this side, and I'm gonna eyeball this side to see that kind of needs to go up a little bit, and I haven't started pressing it. Okay, I think I'm good. So now I will start pressing it into place a little bit just with my hand. And then I'm going to use my tool and just start pressing. And you want to use a pretty firm pressure. And so you're at the beginning, you're just going to rub, like kind of get all the spots. Go, you know, over all the areas at least once. Your first pass there. And when you have these little seams, just make sure you really press, use the edge, really press into it. I'm just pressing along these little details down here at the bottom. Okay, so once I do one run through, I then start focusing on one side. So then just start pressing, like I said, pretty firm and kind of focus in one area. This part looks like it's already adhered because I don't know if you can see this, but it's more white right here. And I can't see as much of the transfer because it's more white. So I suspect that that part has already started hearing, which is great. So I'm moving on to the next area. Maybe go back a little bit because maybe this tiny little part right here I can still see. Yeah, there it goes. It started turning white. So I think I got that part. Then, so what you can do is you can check to see. Oh wow, a lot of it's coming off already. Then you just want to keep going. Okay, so I'll cut it again, just so I can get these little pieces. I don't want them pulling on part of the transfer that's already adhered and like distorting it. I'm gonna pull these little pieces. Then I'm just gonna tuck these back under there. Okay guys, I've folded my transfer in half and I put a little tape over here to kind of keep it together, kind of help me hold this in place, because what I'm trying to do is to see where my transfer lines up as far as where I want to cut it, and this will help me decide like what I want to do. So I could have this little molding piece. I could have it start in this little lip area, which that might look kind of cool actually. Let me move this over so I can see, because I'm trying to see where all the little places are that I would want to cut the transfer. You just want to try to keep it even while you're eyeballing this part. And it looks like this line lines up pretty well with that lip. So this is my line that I'm going to cut on here. And so this line right here, and I'm just gonna keep my finger there. If I had a piece of tape, I would put a piece of tape there, but I used it here. So anyway, I'll just remember that I'm going to cut on this side of this line, and then that way I will have this section right here to contend with. Yeah, so we'll do that part next. Okay guys, I've made that cut in the same way I did this piece down here, and I have tape on my piece that's going here, and I'm going to try to eyeball it and tape it into place without pressing it down. So you're gonna use the tape to kind of hold on to the transfer and kind of get it in place. I'm using this upper lip detail piece to guide me on where I want the transfer to end up. Okay, so that looks good. Then I'm going to use my tape right here and kind of press this down. I'm not going to press anything else down just yet. Okay guys, on these tricky spots like these molding pieces, All you want to do is just, you press it into the spot, then just go down to this little raised lip right here. And you pretty much essentially do the same thing, but you want to make sure to get it underneath too, otherwise it might pull and break in that spot, which is no big deal because then you could just like lay it back down. But see, there's some right here on this is a raised, like this part is right here also. Okay guys, this is how I'm going to handle the inset piece. I have an X-Acto knife and it's really a good thin one. This is a DeWalt, but I wouldn't use one of the thick box cutters because these are these small ones are pretty, you want a really good sharp one. But anyway, I'm gonna fill along where the inset area is on my piece, and I have this on here pretty taut, my transfer with the tape and everything, and I've already kind of cut this side. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna use the X-Acto knife and use the top piece of the inset area as my guide. Okay. The good thing is you'll know where you need to stop, and then you can just, and I'm barely, you know, touching the piece of furniture. I'm just kind of going in and, okay, and I'm going to start on this side so that going away from my fingers, I guess. And so now I'm free to kind of press this area on, and then I'll go back and do the middle in a minute. But I am also going to cut where the door is. The door closes here. So I'm just going to go straight down. That one's super easy because you just run your knife blade down. And I'm gonna need my scissors to kind of clip here and then clip there. But then, I'm gonna go ahead and get this off, and then we'll do this part separately. Okay, I've got this part of the transfer adhered along here, and you just want to go around your edges with your finger gently and press down any pieces that are not laying down around those edges. So we have our piece of our transfer that we cut out, and you want to kind of eyeball that and line it up. The easy thing is that it just, kind of sits back in that place where it was before. And I start from the top and kind of work my way down, pressing it. Oops. So just, kind of press it, make sure you got the air bubbles out. And then you do the same thing, you just start pressing. Show y'all one more thing here. I'm gonna bring you in close. Hopefully. So over where these hinges are, and then this door opens also. So where these hinges are and then where the door opens, the transfer is just kind of sitting on top. So what we need to do is take our X-Acto knife and cut down through that door seam and cut down on the transfers, little parts there. And then just run your finger and fingernail and then just kind of push them in there. The same thing around the hinges. And just continue down. And just use your fingers and press those little parts down. For this drawer, I have folded my transfer in half like I did before, and I am just trying to determine where I want to make the cut. The top drawer does kind of curve out, so if you have your transfer folded like this, it will help you get a visual of where you should cut your transfer. Hey guys, we're back with the last drawer, and this is the round, or not round, but the curved drawer, and it also has this lip here and then this detail up here, which will make it a little bit tricky. So to kind of show you, I want the transfer to come down onto this lip, and then some of it will probably extend up into here. I don't have to do that part, but the transfer size wise, see, it does kind of go up onto that part a little bit. So what I'm going to do to make this a little bit easier is I'm going to cut this transfer into 3 sections. I'm going to cut it just right here past the butterfly. Then I'm going to cut it here on this side. That way it'll make it a little easier for me to apply it. And that way, all right, so I'm just going to do this like I would the ones below, kind of line it up. I'm going to kind of just eyeball it over that ridge right there. Try to kind of just make sure my transfer is straight. And once it looks good, I'm going to start pressing it. And you know, it is a little tricky over the curves. So if I had that whole long strip to contend with, that would be a little hard. Okay, I'm going to just start over here. Okay, and then we've got our little places that are drawer. I just use the knife to kind of tuck those in, or you can use your finger too. And then we need to cut along the bottom of our drawer. So just go in there very slow and don't like go in there and drag it. Just go in and I kind of saw it in a way, like press it in and bring it out. Oh, I hate to cut the butterfly. So pretty, but it still looks cool. Because when the drawers close, it'll be back together. That is it. I'm gonna continue with this part. I'll just take my transfer and probably actually what I'll do is I'll start with the left side. I'm gonna do that first, and then that way I'll know where to put this one, because this one doesn't really connect to anything. It was kind of separate. It was kind of like probably like right here, but I'm gonna do this side first and then do the middle part. Okay, guys, we are finished with our transfer. I love it so much. It just added a really great element to this piece, and I love the way it turned out. So just FYI, I will apply Couture Top Coat, which is a water-based sealer, because my paint needs to be sealed and my transfer will just be more durable if it's sealed also. I am going to use Dead Flat, which is a completely flat sealer, and I'll be good to go. Just another note, this transfer, again, the name is Astoria Foliage. it is a paintable transfer. So you could paint in all these little details in here if you wanted to. You could add some pops of color. But I kind of did it opposite. My piece had color little spots on it, and then I put my transfer over that. So it's totally customizable to what you want to do. Um, but I really think it's beautiful. I hope I have given you the information you need to tackle your project, even if it has a lot of these different elements that make it a little more tricky. Thank you so much for watching, and to get more detailed tutorials like this one, please don't forget to subscribe and to hit that little bell so you'll be notified of my next video. Thank you.